So if you're here, you may be wondering, with all my nitpicks, what would be my ideal Shantae Half-Genie Hero? Well, first and foremost, commit to a platforming style. Either going full-on explorative platformer like Castlevania Symphony of the Night, or go full-on linear platformer like Shovel Knight. For the sake of argument, I prefer a linear approach. Backtracking would only be for the purpose of looking for extra money for shops or to collect rare items that aren't really necessary. Next, cut out the RPG elements. No damage number on enemies, and your basic hair whip attack has one set speed. Next, cut out the RPG elements. No damage number on the enemies, and your basic hair whip attack has one set speed. Also, give Shantae all of her transformations immediately. That way the level designer can design around this specific set of controls without having to consider extra variables, allowing for a more tight-feeling experience. Also, a boss health bar would be fantastic, or at least have the bosses appear more damaged over time, so it's clear how much damage the player is really inflicting. So we tweaked the gameplay a bit, now let's tighten it. Make it harder. Way harder. As is, you can cruise through the game with little resistance. Hardcore mode is tough, but only at first. Even then, the endgame is a walk in the park after you've fully upgraded yourself. From beginning to end, I want to feel a genuine challenge with levels designed around every transformation and attack, gradually ramping up in difficulty, not down. With those general improvements out of the way, how about some specifics? First level, cut the epic music so the new player doesn't feel so much tension while trying to learn the controls. Save that for late game. Next, make full-on HD 2D drawings for the backgrounds instead of using 3D environments with 2D images stretched over them. This will give the game a more consistent art style, the kind that makes you just want to put down the controller and stare at the screen for a few minutes. And while we're at it, Shantae bobs back and forth while idle in the game. Let's go the extra mile and sync up that motion with the music. She is a dancer after all, so this will allow a bit of character building without saying a single word. She's got rhythm, and no matter where she is or what she's doing, she is feeling it. And now, the tallest order of all. It's gotta be longer. During a second playthrough, you could easily beat the game in under 4 hours, which as I said, for $20 is pretty steep. As is, it feels like a Mega Man game with 6 robot masters and no Wily Castle. My ideal Shantae Half-Genie Hero would have a minimum 8 stages with a big bad boss fortress at the end to test all we've learned. In the game as is, Risky Boots' hideout is pretty much like every other level. There isn't even a mini-boss. Give me, let's say 3 mini-bosses, spread out over a multi-stage final level. Then we are really talking. And while we're at it, let's add a more interactive escape sequence. In the game, you slide down these platforms away from a flow of lava. Maybe instead, let's say you have to climb to the top of Risky's hideout as everything's exploding around you and you have to jump torrential sky right before the lava gets you. Here's where we can have that epic music from the intro playing. It'd be perfect! And finally, we arrived at the very end of the game. No good or bad endings. The good ending is the default ending. Don't punish the player for not completing the game, come on. But, if they do complete it, add a little something extra on top. Maybe a Where Are They Now section during the end credits. You know, to see where all of Shantae's friends and enemies ended up after the story concluded. Maybe even a tease that Shantae's mom can see her from the Genie Realm. Like maybe a bonus scene after the credits where Shantae is asleep and her mother's voice chimes in from the darkness about how proud she is of her daughter. And with all that together, we've achieved my ideal Shantae Half-Genie Hero. I'm just having a bit of fun, you know? I played through the game, I just wanted to tell you guys what I thought. Sure, it's far too late to seriously suggest these changes, but there's always the future. And as far as I can see, the future's looking pretty bright.